Yo, what up? It's your girl, Jilly B.
And your girl, K-Dubs.
And we are here for pod number 16.
And I am with the Ernie Queen.
What?
You tuned in now to This Pickleball Life. I'm K-Dubs and Jilly B is my wife. She's the pro and I've got the filler. She's sweet to me, but on the court she's a killer. Unadulterated and efficiently bringing you the best and worst things in PB. Tell your friends and stay for another. And no one loves us more than your mother. One thing's for sure, one hit and you're addicted. Grab a pile, grab a court, don't resist it. So click subscribe, let's go, let's get cracking. Themesong done, let's go, let's get laughing. This Pickleball Life.
I actually love your Ernie Queen PB Gods shirt almost as much as I love my brand new Pickleball Is My Happy Place crop top super soft t-shirt, again from PB Gods.
In rainbow.
Actually, I don't think we should call this pod number 16. I think we should call it Adventure Pod, Outdoor Pod, Nature Pod. If you're not watching on video, we are in beautiful Aspen, Colorado.
My hometown, and not only Aspen, Colorado, but we are specifically in the John Denver Sanctuary. Does not get more Colorado than that.
It is gorgeous. You might hear kids playing, birds chirping, and river water running.
It's a view of Aspen Mountain and Maroon Bells. I mean, get yourself here.
And I think we needed this. We needed a few days in Aspen because it was a hectic week, was it not?
It was a lot. It was a lot.
What did we have? We had the draft.
We had the draft. We had the Fliegelman Clinic. And we had PPA Denver.
Yep.
And we drove here from Denver.
Well, to be fair, your father drove because
we slept.
We slept and we ate Chipotle and had a beer at Chipotle, so we might have napped in the car. But thank you, Dad.
It was a big day.
Well, I would love just to hop into, I think, the question that's on most people's minds.
Jill, how do you feel after not getting drafted to Premier?
You know, I was really disappointed for the first 2 hours afterwards. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I just got drafted to the New York Hustlers, probably the most iconic team in MLP short history that has the Netflix Spring Hill documentary following them around.
Absolutely. First female drafted. And I think super lucky that they went with 4 guys before you. Not only the Hustlers are the Hustlers, but they had the number 5 slot, which, as we know from some other Premier players, they were worried about going too soon because it's tough to be Ben Johns. It's tough to be Rob Nunnery, and then you've got to wait all the way to come around. So 5, you get a little bit more of that upper middle line on the draft.
I think, too, what made me feel so good was getting to hand select my team. And it was the first time, because you might remember that last season I came in the Challenger draft.
The shuffle.
Oh, excuse me. The shuffle draft for Challenger. So this was my first experience, getting the phone call from the team owner, which is Querrey, the general manager.
And if you're not a total MLP pickleball nerd like some of us, the shuffle draft happens between events.
Right.
So with Challenger, they have the opportunity to pick people who are not already in the league, whereas the Premier teams have to stay within that Premier group. So you can't grab someone who's playing really great in Challenger until the season's over.
Thank you. That was helpful context. So having the opportunity to be on the call with Jason Stein from LeBron James's group and Querrey, our general manager, and then we had 2 Premier players that were helping us draft as well. And I'm so grateful they were there because I threw out the name Kyle Yates for my second pick. And the ownership was like, oh, he's going to miss an event. And, we have these concerns. And right away, it was Anna and James who were helping us draft. We're like, no, we're really in agreement with Jill here. Kyle's a steal. So we grabbed Kyle. And then it was mind blowing that the next available pick, the 20th pick, was
Sarah Ansbury,
my doubles partner.
Amazing. How they were left is such a gift. And that's a big part of all the draft. There's always a steal because teams have a certain vision of they want a female then or a male then, and these are the people on their board, and they let certain great players go. We saw AJ went second to last in the Premier draft because he's missing 1 day for a wedding of one of the events.
Yeah.
And maybe, whatever other reasons.
I thought Zane was a steal. Yeah, there were a lot of steals. Yeah.
And a lot of this was just certain women went earlier than you'd expect, or people went earlier than you would expect, and leaving other people available to teams who didn't think they'd have access, perhaps, to a player of that caliber. So,
well, what's kind of crazy about this, if you just said pick 4 players in
the whole thing.
In the whole thing, I think I would have picked the 4 our 4-person team. Like, forget draft order. Like, I love our team. Jaume Martinez Vich, help me.
We're going to get there eventually, and I hope he doesn't hold it against us. And, you know, if we're completely wrong, you can call me Christine, and you can call her, what do people usually mistake? Joe. You're
Jillian.
Oh, Julian. Man. But, yeah, JMV. We're going with JMV.
Okay, so this is an up-and-coming singles god, a singles superstar, and super lucky. Brandon French, God bless him, my doubles partner from MLP, who I'm going to play more with this year, has a wrist injury and cannot play with me in Takea in a couple of weeks in Fountain Valley. So I am going to play with Jaume, and we're going to get some really cool practice in right before MLP. And Kyle Yates has actually played against Jaume now twice, lost to him in a previous tournament in San Clemente, actually, where Kyle was partnered with Travis Redenmeyer and lost to Jaume and Jaume's partner, whose name escapes me currently. My point is, like, wow, Jaume's a steal. Like, talk about a steal.
Talk about having Kyle in the room, who recently had an experience with Jaume, who's then there to tell the ownership group, yes, this is a good idea. All of these draft picks have a lot of voices in the room, and when you can come to a consensus, everyone's happier. So no one can really be the only person who's fighting for a certain player.
Which is such a great lead-in to why I think I wasn't drafted to Premier. Now that I've actually experienced the madness of this, where you have 120 seconds on the clock to make a pick, you've got 2-3 players in the room, ownership, GM, coaches, people that have been asked to sit in and help with the draft. I mean, you have all these voices, and you have to keep perspective that I have been back playing professionally for 5 months, not even.
Yeah.
You know, I came in March when all the round 1 and 2 picks most players in general have set their playing schedules with their partners for the year. So I haven't even played with like some of the best players in the game as my partner. I haven't even played with a variety of partners yet. I don't live somewhere where I'm training in Austin, in South Florida. I'm not even training in LA. I'm training in like Indian Wells, California with you and a few other training partners. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into this team composition. It's not, oh God, you know, we hate Jilly B or her personality's too strong. No, I mean, there were multiple instances where I was taking calls from owners and first round picks till 11 at night before the draft.
Yeah.
I know for fact that my name was thrown out as a 3rd round female pick. I know for a fact that 2 4th round female picks, my name was thrown out. And it's just a confluence of factors. It's play style. It's who are you playing with on the tour this year? Oh, you're playing with that partner. Grab her 4th round instead. Like, it's to boil it down to people don't like this person or people feel that she's too this or too aggressive of a playing style is an immense oversimplification, which now I completely understand after being part of these phone conversations. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and absolutely. There's that sense of urgency and that sense of timeliness. So yeah, there's no fingers to point at. It is what it is. And what may or may not happen in 2024 is there might be 14 or 16 premier teams and only 8 challenger teams. So that's going to drastically change how that chain would go if you go all the way to 16 before you go back up the chain in that shuffle snake draft. Sorry, not the shuffle draft, but it'll be interesting to see how that really shakes up those 4th round picks.
I'm excited. You know, I think she who laughs last laughs hardest. And I do firmly believe that getting to be a part of this Netflix documentary and getting an opportunity to keep kind of like earning my stripes. Like, maybe this is a good thing. Like, I should be back. Like, let me win another MVP. Let me win the super championship. Like, there's nothing wrong with having more opportunities to kind of earn your stripes, play more.
And speaking of opportunities, I'm excited for the opportunity to sing I'm a hustler, baby, for the next 6 months.
Well, like I said, I've been hustling my whole life. Now it's official.
There you go. In New York. Come on. Who doesn't want to be a part of a New York squad? So I think that's pretty much...
I have one more thing to add. What was so crazy about this was concurrent to not being drafted to Premier, seeing a lot of like, you know, blogs, oh, is she, is her personality too strong? Do people just not like her so much? Like, in the face of like kind of dislikes and drama, I had a viral video. We had a video where literally 2 million people, 2.2 million people, maybe the most viral pickleball video in history, literally concurrent to all of this negativity, were people saying, I'm watching you, I like you, 20,000 likes.
Yeah. And
thousands of comments.
Like, landing the plane in Denver on our way to Boulder on Monday or Tuesday, I don't even remember now. And by Wednesday, Jill was like, is this real? I think we were up to like 500,000.
We woke up the morning of the draft.
Smokes.
And it was 1 million.
I would like to go on record saying that I thought we could improve on the video, and I was telling Jill we needed to refilm it. So who's wrong now?
And it was like one community was closing its arms to me.
Yeah.
And a broader community was opening it. And I thought that was poetic, just to have perspective on everything.
Absolutely. And I always come back to with Jill, like, why are we here? What are we doing? What is pickleball? We're here for the joy. We're here for the love. We're here because when pickleball wins, we all win. And to show people that you can play at the highest possible level in the sport and still be smiling and still be happy, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need more of that.
Well, we have a mission statement. Yeah. Pickleball is joy. Don't ever let anyone convince you otherwise.
Absolutely. So we hope that that is the reason why you tune into this pod.
Yep.
And we know there are other pods out there that have a slightly different lilt to their positivity, negativity spectrum. So share, subscribe. Thank you for being here.
Share the joy.
I'm sorry that no one won the PD Gods gift certificate predicting when Jill would go drafted, because they all thought it was between 25 and 44. So we'll come up with a new contest for you.
We will. I promise that we will make it up to everyone who did participate. We will. Yeah. I want to figure out what the next guessing game is. Yeah. One person did say 50, which in a way is 2.
Wait,
yes.
Oh, 2. I was thinking 50 was 5, and they actually accidentally got it right. And yeah. So someone did say 1 in Challenger. But
okay.
Anyway, you got to get it right. You got to get it right.
That's fair.
And props to Sam Querrey for having a huge sense of humor about not getting drafted to Challenger.
I threw Sam's name out 3 separate times.
Yeah.
In 2 different places.
He'll get picked up in the shuffle. There's a lot of experimentation that goes on, especially in the shuffle draft, when you don't have to worry about if we don't put this person in the league, we don't get them at all. They can pick up from whoever. Who knows if the next, tennis superstar just comes out of the woodworks. Jack Sock might be in the next shuffle draft. You never know.
Nobody wanted Daniel De La Rosa in the first season. Yeah. And then we come in, we're like, oh my God, grab Daniel. So I think a lot of this is I hate to say it, it's like IQ. It's pickleball IQ.
Totally. And there are a lot of very established pros that are kind of people aren't sure if it's worth we know how good you are versus we know how good you are right now, but maybe you're going to get better kind of picks. So there's a lot of that coming up.
And we did
exciting. We
did a clinic in Boulder the night of the draft. So after I didn't get drafted to Premier, and it's funny, I kind of went into that totally sold out with a wait list, 20-person clinic with Scott Fliegelman at Boulder Pickleball Club, which is an incredible facility, by the way. If you are ever in the Denver area or Boulder area, you need to visit
12 months a year, indoor pickle, great side space. It's an elegant way to say that, but either way.
Professionally sized courts.
There's plenty of room for your ATPs, let's just say.
So I went into this 20-person sold out clinic, and I kind of had my head down a little bit. And it was so wild. The reception was like, congratulations, you're a hustler. That's the best team. Jill, this is so cool. How do you feel? And it was really cool. They're like, number 1 female pick. And it was so sweet.
Yeah. So thanks to Scott for having us, and we can't wait to come back. And also props to Tyra and to Vivian Glosman and to Rachel Rohrabacher, who we had our eyes on as a potential challenger pick, and obviously, some other owners in Premier had their eyes on her too. So
congrats to all the players who moved up.
Yeah, I think
so exciting.
There's some really exciting new females in the sport, and we're really glad that the movement is coming.
And I love the pathway of minor league to major league or minor league to challenger to major. Connor Garnett won a minor league. I forgot about that.
Colin Schick won the collegiate.
Oh my goodness, you're right. So let's talk college
Maybe
to
also,
challenger.
I think he won the collegiate and then won a minor, then went to
college
challenger.
to minor to challenger to major. That's like really cool to see the
Yeah.
pathways working in the sport. That's really, really special because tennis failed at that.
Right.
Completely failed at that.
It's
College
like-
is a dead end.
You're either the phenom, you know, Anna Kournikova, who becomes a pro at 16.
Coco Gauff.
Or
More modern.
Who's the other really famous one whose decor we love?
Oh, Maria Sharapova. Japandi decor.
Yes. Yeah. Maria Sharapova won Wimbledon at 16. Like, you skip college and go straight pro. I hope to see college pickleball become a real thing, because college sports, as we can both attest, are like family, they're fun, they're like their own kind of sorority, fraternity, and it's great. It's lead into time management and all the other skills. So it's something I hope people have the option to choose pickleball and pursue that college scholarship soon.
You know, Kristin, you played minor league pickleball. Maybe what's next for you is challenger. You never know. Hey, after your knee surgery in 1 week, I mean,
I keep
come
joking.
on.
For like 7 or 8 months, all I'm going to be doing is watching the best pickleball players in the world and never missing a shot.
You're going to be bionic.
Basically, I have an advantage.
So I know we have a ton to talk about on this pod, but I do want to kind of put a pin in Major League Pickleball. You have studied this maybe as much, if not more, than team owners and GMs and coaches. In fact, Forbes put out an article on like draft strategies that literally emulated everything we had talked about, which I'm not saying they copied you. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you know what you're talking about. So who are the teams, and then we'll move on from MLP talk. Who are the teams that you really like? What are your thoughts?
Well, my first pick is not a huge, outlier original pick in Premier, because it's Annalie Waters' team. She went number 2. She grabbed Arena, the MLP GOAT.
Which just ensures a victory.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, snagged Thomas in a late round, and then grabbed his cousin AJ in the 4th round, which was a bit of the talk of Premier, that AJ went second to last. Partially, I guess, because of that one day he's going to miss for a wedding. But that's going to be a tough team to beat if they just play normal. And the other team that I think is more significant, because this is a team that kind of needs to pull themselves back up into Premier, and that is DC, who started out a little slow in Challenger and then came on strong at San Clemente with some good results. You guys played them twice, beat them twice, but they looked good, and now they've got Riley, both Kawamotos, and Christian Alshon.
Wow, what a team. What a team.
From Premier, which, again, was interesting that they could have grabbed AJ too, but it should be some good pickleball from them, I think.
Remind our listeners and our viewers what these owners are fighting for this season, this year.
Yeah. So part of what's so cool about this year is every team did 3 of each, 3 Premier, 3 Challenger, and they play those 3 events, and then flip-flop leagues, do the whole draft again, which we just saw. Then we'll have these 3 events. After these 3 conclude the full 6 of 2023, moving into the 2024 season, the top at least 12, maybe 14 or 16, there's no official word on that, will start next year as Premier and stay Premier until the whole season ends. And we will then promotion and relegation like English Premier League Soccer, hence the name Premier. And I also don't know if there's an official word on that, if it's 2 teams moving up and down or 1, but either way,
I don't know how that's going to work. I just know
the bottom of the top
owners
goes down
are
to
really,
the top of the bottom.
Right. The owners are really fighting right now for overall standings. They want to make sure they're ending in that top 14 or 16, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
So it's fun from a challenger perspective because they care equally. Like the Hustlers care deeply about our performance as much, if not more, actually, than they did about their previous team of Anna Bright and Tyson and Rafa and Lacey, because they have to perform. We have to perform to help get them up.
So obviously New York is sitting in a pretty solid position right now.
I need to help get them up or keep them where they are.
No. You're totally right with the general concept. All I was going to say is obviously you guys are the team to beat with 2 Premier players in Sarah Hansberry and like the newest hot stud in singles with Yao Ming.
Let's go. Give me a target on my
Other
back.
teams, I think you guys are going to have to really watch out for. SoCal Hard Eights.
Who's on that team?
And that is Ava and Yana.
Great.
Which is another, like, how did Yana end up second
It's a great
round
team.
pick?
That's a great team.
And then CJ, the young lefty, who's like 6'7". How tall is he?
I don't think he's that tall, but I threw his name out a bunch of times.
Yeah. And then Todd Fout. I'm sticking with it. Who was on the...
If he's going to pronounce it Foat, just spell it F-O-A-T, like boat, but with an F. But we'll talk to him about that later.
I always try and tell people that my name is pronounced Vaya. W-A-L-L-A. Naturally, it's Vaya. But no one bites. And then the other S team, Seattle, your former GM, Dave Fleming, running that boat. Obviously, they had been before, and they're pretty much a lock for Premier. It would take a near,
For next year.
team, every player on their team would probably have to come down with some kind of deadly illness for that not to stick. But your boy Brandon French, they picked up in the fourth round. And then they've got Lina and Megan, who both arguably could have been first round picks, as well as the nicest guy in Challenger, Wes Burrows.
Oh,
So
Brandon
I still
and
think
Wes.
that's a team to watch out for. But we'll see. It should be fun. Some definite, interesting teams picked too, which I will not divulge my thoughts on. But I'm curious to see how some teams I'm like a little curious about.
This is a positive pod, but if you write into thispblife@gmail.com, Kristin will give you her unfettered thoughts on teams that were drunk when they picked.
Find me in person at an event, and I'm sure I'll let it fly.
No, actually, I don't think those team owners were drunk when they picked. What I think they did was they threw all the available names into a hat, and they closed their eyes, and they put their hand in, and they saw who came out, and then announced a name.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, so we can really end this with a bang. The NML guys did call you the Annalie Waters of Challenger, so
I'll take
we'll
it.
see if you can live up to that.
I'll try and live up to that. Just 16 years times 2.
So shall we move on to Denver?
Yes, we should move on to Denver. We stayed in Denver with a gentleman named Mike. I called him 5 minutes before we were ready to show up to our other host's house, your college roommate and playing partner. And we learned that she was about 35, 40 minutes away. And I remembered that our dear friend Brian Shapiro from Orange County had connected us to this guy, Mike. So we called him and I'm like, hi, this is Jilly B. I heard you live like 1 mile from the venue. Is it cool if my wife and I pull up to your house in like the next 5 minutes and stay with you?
It's the natural next question. No pressure.
And his natural response to 2 strangers staying with him 5 minutes before their arrival was, sure. This is the pickleball community. Like, this is what pickleball is about, you guys.
Yes. And if you didn't realize, the viral video that we put out was all about that, in a slightly comedic spin about it being also like a cult. But like, you don't need anything. You show up to pickleball and pickleball goes like this.
Yeah.
They spread their arms and they give you a big bear hug. And there are very few sports, especially tennis and golf.
Very few anything in life.
Or especially not tennis and golf, I should say.
You know, there's this phrase, if you haven't been to Burning Man, or if you have friends that have gone, and it's the playa will provide. Like, literally, just ask.
What you need, the playa provides.
So our joke is like, pickleball is the playa. It will provide. The community of pickleball will always provide.
Yes, absolutely.
So we stayed with Mike, who was awesome. Like, I actually don't have a full vocabulary to describe how like welcoming he was and like dry sense of humor.
It's that kind of person you feel like you've known your whole life after 5 minutes.
Why does this always happen? All of our hosts, I'm like, have I known you? Like, were we like married in a separate life?
Hey, positivity always wins. They find us. It's magnetic attraction.
And so he's like, hey, I have a surf camp in Mexico. And there's this really cool place called Tres Palapas. Have you heard of it? It's 10 pickleball courts in Baja, Mexico. It's literally pickleball heaven. And I was like, what? How have I not heard of this place?
Yeah, and in fairness, Ben Johnson and Tyson have been running camps there for years.
And apparently, so we go on, we Google it, and I'm like, we have to go here. We have to bring like an intimate group here. Like, I am obsessed with this. And it's literally pickleball heaven. in kind of a city that has been explained to me as Joshua Tree meets Newport Beach. And I'm like, well, I live in Palm Springs, and
which is basically Joshua Tree.
I grew up in Newport Beach.
Yes.
So like within 24 hours of finding out about this place, we're on a call with the owners, Paul and Sally, who are amazing. They're from Vancouver Island. They used to be ranchers, Canadians. Cowboys in Wyoming, right?
Yep.
And they retired to Mexico. They were just going to build one pickleball court, but they said they don't do anything small. They only know how to do big. So they built 10 courts. They have condos on the property, food and beverage, incredible hospitality. They get pros to come out, do pro-ams, tournaments, clinics. So my point is, within like 24 hours now, we're planning like a very intimate, probably I'll keep it 8 people.
Yeah, we're going to do a scouting trip, and then we're going to open it up to all of you JILLYB super fans out there.
So we're going to do,
for our next
I'm
one.
calling it the JILLYB Pickleball Escape at Tres Palapas, Baja, Mexico, intimate group, really great semi-private instruction. We're going to go mid-October. I mean, if you are interested, email thispblife@gmail.com. We might end up with like 1 or 2 spots this trip, but I definitely want to plan something either December, January, February, March of, moving forward. But yeah, we're going to have mid-October, 8 people. Like I said, if you're interested, hit us up.
Yeah,
it's going to be really a lot of one-on-one
open
time.
To the highest bidder.
No. No, probably 3 days, 3 hours of instruction each day. It's going to be fun.
Chill. Yeah.
Super chill.
As much about the environment as it is about the instruction.
100%. Yeah, you nailed it.
Absolutely. So super, super excited for that in October. And as promised, we're still going to Margaritaville at some point in, I think, December. So we're going to do a double Mexico trip.
I'm going to go from never having been to Mexico to just moving to Mexico for a month.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, man, I got to get my realtor's license in Mexico now. So I also did want to circle back a little bit to the Boulder Clinic. What was your favorite part of the Boulder Clinic besides the facilities, as we talked about, as far as the instruction-wise? Tell the people what they missed.
I think Scott and I developed literally like a scalable model of these like 2-hour clinics that was so helpful for the students.
Efficient and so like such a great mix of demonstration, instruction, and drilling, and you guys bopping around.
Yep, and Kristin videoed most of the 10 to 15 minutes of demo before we actually sent the players out on the court. So we're going to actually upload those to a Google Drive and make them publicly available. I think what was so helpful was this, especially or in particular, this one drill that I would encourage everyone listening to try at home, because I think it was the greatest improvement, the quickest and greatest improvement I've ever seen in students from one drill. And it was a dinking pattern drill, a strategy drill, because I can't tell you how many times I hear, even from 4-0, 4-5, 5-0 players, literally, like, yeah, I get up there and like, I don't have like a pattern.
There's just like cross-court dink.
Yeah.
Hit it low. And there's so much more to it. And
Right.
I think coming from golf, people get really screwed up with chipping because they get too slow and guidey or too defensive about trying to make the ball not go too far. And I always come back to the Tom Kite aphorism of, there's no conservative swings, only conservative targets.
Right.
And I think that absolutely translates to dinking.
Yes, it does.
In my humble 4-0 opinion, that when you feel like a victim and you're surviving dinking, that's when you pop it up.
Or you're just going cross court.
Dictating that dinking, and you're being aggressive with your dinks and purposeful and intentional with your targets. That's when you hit your best dinks.
So this dinking drill, and I totally agree with you, had 3 targets on each side of the court. So 1 target in each corner, and then 1 target on the left foot of the right-sided player, or
so the
backhand
backhand foot.
The backhand foot, assuming the player is obviously right-handed.
Right.
And we put that target...
But wait, if they were lefty, where would you be aiming, if not their backhand foot?
Well, their backhand foot is going to be cross
already
court.
the cone.
Yeah, it's already a cone.
It's already the target, the other target, just to be clear.
Yep.
So your target is the far corner or the inside foot of that righty player.
Correct. and take that left foot of the right-sided player, that target, and push it back a couple feet. Because that's what you don't want to put it like right on their left foot. You want to put it a little bit behind them, which makes
they have to either let it bounce and kind of move back.
Right.
Or try and reach in, but it's already only 6 inches off the ground.
And so Scott and I were doing this drill, practicing before the students arrived, and we were laughing so hard. We were like, this is really helping us. Like, how come I'm not doing this more? And then I swear it helped my play. It helped my dinking in the Denver PPA. And I'm a pro. So it's just amazing how much like information there still is to glean on pickleball instruction, how there really is no like standard pedagogy yet in existence, and how much Scott and I just loved this drill and how much it helped us. So we'll put in like a photo of what this drill looked like if you're visual and not auditory like I am. And then I really encourage you to try it at home and let me know, because I literally think this is something from 2-0 to 5-0 that could benefit from. Yeah. Or obviously 6-0.
Another cool thing at Boulder is he has a skinny court. So it's a full depth, but only one half of the court. And he also has a kitchen court that's full width, but only the kitchen line plus a foot. So when you're hitting that perfect spot, you actually have like a little bevel of the pickle roll where you can see you actually hit that perfect spot and the ball will kick. So it's a really cool thing that people could add at their indoor facilities for sure.
So we're going to take a really quick break right here. You're going to hear from our newest sponsor, ruckpack.com. That's RUK. If you want to support K-Dubs and your girl Jilly B, please support our sponsors.
Support those who support us. Thanks, guys.
Those who are called to do a lot, carry a lot. The makers, the doers, the movers. Moving at a fast pace requires tools that keep up, that lighten the load, that push us forward. Because with the right tools, there's nothing you can't shoulder. Something for everyone.
Welcome back. We are going to pivot now to a little bit of a dive into the actual event in Denver, the Snap PPA Denver Open.
Okay, we're not sponsored by Snap, but this was really cool.
I do like their pickles. I'm not gonna lie.
They were pickles in a portable bag, like baggie. Right? Like you'd snack on chips.
Like literally zip top, rip top, reach in, sliced pickles.
And there's none of the brine, or there's like a little bit of brine at the bottom, so they're not messy.
Let's be honest, everyone's looking for that pickle brine shot anyway, so you just pop that into your mouth.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, they weren't as good as Grillo's, but at the same time, the convenience is unmatched.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like the thing I literally learned in, I think, economics class in high school or marketing class in college or something about literally what happened when the carrot business decided to make baby carrots. They are not just young carrots. If you didn't already realize this, baby carrots are just carrots that have gone through a slice and dice machine to make them that size. And all of a sudden, they charge 3 times more and sold 3 times more. So that's like a 6x something or other in the world of carrots, just by slicing them into portable pieces. And it's like, how have the other vegetables not caught up sooner? We learned this in like the 80s.
I've got a real question for you. Is the best thing to ever happen to pickles pickleball? Can we track pickle sales in the past 4 years?
Between Vlasic Classic, an APP event, Snap, and Grillo sponsoring MLP, I mean, it's a tough race.
Oh my God. I have definitely increased my consumption of pickles since participating in professional pickleball.
Yeah, there's just something about that subliminal marketing of pickle.
So
even though it
funny.
had nothing to do with pickles, the naming of the sport.
Believe it or not, a 2-minute tangent on pickles was not originally slated for this podcast.
Not in the outline.
It was not in the outline.
But back to Snap, the Denver Open. Jill played with 2 mover uppers, Pablo and Tyra.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one.
They got brought down by this challenger chica, Jilly B. I'm just kidding. I actually thought I played
Pablo
great.
and Jill both had a partner drop last minute, and
Yeah, I was supposed to play
paired up.
Brandon. He was supposed to play with Ava Radzikowska.
And both of your MLP teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyra, who Jill played with in St.
Utah.
George, so only at high altitude, Jill plays with Tyra.
Yeah, because, we don't hit it hard at all, Tyra or
that extra
me,
10%.
so I really need that extra, yeah. No, it's so funny. I mean, I hit this GRUVN move-in paddle, if y'all don't already know, harder than literally any other paddle I've ever tried. And there was a definite point in time where Kristin looked at me and was like, I think you need to play the Raw 13X, which is a GRUVN paddle as well, because I was definitely struggling to keep the ball in the court, even having gotten there 4 days early. It's like, I got to move to high altitude for 2 weeks to be able to compete?
We did talk about coming to Aspen before Denver.
Oh my God.
So I guess maybe that was it. But no, I think you and Tyra played really well. Obviously, Yana and Lauren are formidable foes. They've been making it into, semifinals and winning bronze and maybe even a silver this year.
Yeah, they made it to the finals of North Carolina. So we lost in 3 games to Lauren Stratman and Yana Newell. And we were up, I think, 9-4, 9-5 in the first. So we really should have won the first, but we didn't. And we did win the second. So we put ourselves in a tough position having to play a third even. And, just really little things that make a big difference. Kudos to Yana and Lauren. I thought they played great. It was a death battle to the end. Down 8-5, I pulled my right hamstring, which is not the reason we lost, but it is super unfortunate. And now I heard it pop, and I went down and we took a 2-minute medical timeout. Tyra, actually we have video of this, is laughing as I'm laying on the ground, and I'm laughing too. It actually was sad and funny. And she fell too in the first game trying to, she's so fast.
I mean, you guys' defense is just so fun to watch.
We're really hard to get through.
You need it, because that's my favorite part, is watching every ball you get. I'm oh my God, they got that one too.
Well, we're a tough team because we're tough to attack, and so at the net, we're almost impossible to attack, and we are almost impossible to get through if you put us both at the baseline, because she's so fast and I'm so long.
Yeah, at one point she got a ball behind you and you switched.
Yeah.
And then she was ready to switch all the way back and get the other wide one.
But I was going to say, in the first game, she fell because she ran out of court and ran into the, what do you call that? Cement
bleachers.
divider?
Yeah, the cement kind of bleachers. So, yeah, the court ends and there's
She slid into it. I felt actually I was worried. She hit her foot. Hit into
it's
it.
extra dusty right there too.
And she's laughing hey, I was going to get that ball, but there's this cement immovable object that inhibited me. So totally. I'm laughing at her as she's on the ground. She's laughing at me as I'm on the ground. We laugh a lot. She is a lot of fun to play with.
Totally.
She's got the right perspective.
And there was another point that they hit wide to your left side where it just bounced too far to get over the other net wall that you couldn't get a far enough back and left to get, that you were there for, and you're nah. Almost when baseball outfielders have to climb the fence
to catch the outfield. I felt like a baseball outfielder.
Yeah.
Jumping over obstacles to get balls.
I felt literally like I was watching padel.
Yeah.
Where, if you guys don't realize, it's a game that's very popular in España and in all of Europe right now, where you play in a cage. But sometimes they hit it so hard, it bounces over the cage
or
and
through the door.
Run out the door, get the ball back over the wall, and run back in the court and keep going. That's what it felt like.
That is what that whole match felt like. We were playing platform tennis.
So super fun, and it'll be fun to see you play with Tyra again at Nationals. Is that correct?
We're playing Nationals. We're playing Hilton Head. I can't remember if we have one more on the books. God, I feel like the season's going so quickly. The second half of the year, I think I'm not playing I'm not playing Seattle, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Orlando.
Not playing.
And
then you are playing
everything else.
Takea is obviously here. Seattle next week. Sorry, I'm getting surgery, so I need a nurse. And then
I'm hoping my hamstring is better in 2 weeks.
In SoCal. And then hope your leg heals while you're healing me. Pass my healing on to you.
I've been using the Bemer literally 3 times a day, and I think that I'd be in a way worse position. We've been asked a lot if the Bemer discount is still available.
It's a supplies last situation, right?
Yeah, so the answer to that is it's a supplies last situation. I think they're almost out, but email us at thispblife@gmail.com, and we will do literally everything in our power to get you not only the discount, but to get you get you product. They're almost out.
And to connect you with people who can answer all of the medical questions you might have, as we, of course, are not certified to answer them all, but we are certified to tell you our own personal experience with the Bemer. Is that, like, I was in so much pain with my meniscus tear and leading into my surgery, and like as soon as we started using the Bemer, I was almost like, should I cancel surgery again? Because I have zero pain now. Sleeps better, happier. It's just 8 minutes cycles twice a day, sometimes once a day. It's super easy.
Speaking of wall, super portable. Oh my gosh, so
rechargeable.
We
plug it in.
So we brought our Bemer unit on the airplane, and it's definitely like a strange shape.
Well, not so much a strange shape, it's a long shape.
Long shape. And it's super lightweight, really portable, but of course the gate agent's like, what is this? Where are you going with that?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, it's a PMF medical device. She was like, I've never seen that, no way. And like didn't want to let us on.
Yeah. And another person was like, well, if you're using it on the plane, then you can take it. So we're like, fine.
Which I did use. I did use it on the plane. Anyway, so we got on with it. I pulled like a pro athlete card, and I said I just spoke with the device rep, and he assured me we were allowed to fly with it, which was true. I didn't make that up.
Yeah. And again, just to be clear, Bemer is a PEMF device which helps the blood flow at the smallest capillary level, where it is really hard to fix in any other way other than with the Bemer.
Yep, Tyson McGuffin is a sponsored athlete, huge supporter of it.
Cleans out the pipes. Blood flow is everything. You got blood in every part of your body. It makes everything work. So it makes everything work better. Super excited for that Bemer relationship. So any other Denver things? Oh!
Any other Denver Nuggets? Get it?
Yes,
Get it?
Denver Nuggets. But speaking of, I don't know how to tie this in with the Nugget, but I did go and play golf with my really good friend Ashley, who I used to go on tour with when I was trying to play pro golf. We have shared a ton of hilarious and fun memories, including Mexican memories. This is the only time I ever went surfing was with Ashley, and I don't know if you legally can even call it surfing, but we played some golf out at her country club, and I get back to my car, and the tire had gone flat. And I'm out towards Red Rocks, where they have awesome concerts, so it's like a little farther away from town. As we said earlier, like 30, 40 minutes. And I'm like, oh God, do I call Hertz? Do we call a tow truck? Do we get rid of the car? Do I try and find some dude inside who can help me change it? I found like the jack in the back. And Jill's on the phone with USAA. We end up getting a USAA guy to come help change the tire. And I'm chatting with this guy as he's changing the tire. And turns out his wife plays pickleball. She's super into it. We got them tickets. And I send him Jill's Instagram handle, and he writes me back, oh, I saw your video yesterday. So you just can't make this stuff up. The pickleball world is both small and large.
I love it. I think on that topic of like the joy and the positivity that like we feel in pickleball, and that's the videos and the content we try and create and what we try and spread on this podcast. I will say one negative comment on the video, which I do want to address here because I think it's hysterical. And I rarely, get into fighting with people online, but this one was too good to pass up.
It's been a while since we did a mean tweets.
I haven't had a lot of
mean Instagram comments.
So this, the through line of the negativity on this viral video, which was all about like, what is pickleball? I say in the video, oh, it's like tennis, but actually fun. So a lot of people wrote, it's like tennis, but you don't have to be athletic whatsoever to do it.
Oh, funny.
And so, or it's just basically how like tennis is this, premier epitome of athleticism. And so I responded like, hey, I played D1 scholarship tennis for a top 16 in the country team. I can tell you pickleball requires athleticism.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to say tennis requires more, that's fine. That's fine. We can have that conversation.
That's actually still part of the positive part of it, is that you can be as athletic as you want to be. You can do as much exercise as you want to be. If you want to play, two bounce lazy pickleball where you can't run anything down, you can still play. I've watched it. I've watched people fluff the ball, and they're still having a ball.
That's like me saying,
and it's more exercise than they would ever get anywhere else.
And then so I took on those people, but the analogy or the concept that pickleball requires no athleticism is akin to me watching baseball, a sport that I don't play, and going, God, they just stand around the whole time.
Bowling. Aren't they just drinking beer the whole time?
It's like so ignorant.
Golf. Any sport where you drive a cart while you play isn't a sport.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard it all.
Yeah, so anyway, I was
end?
pleased to be able to respond in a manner that was like, oh, you want to compare this to tennis? I played a little bit of tennis. And then I eventually wrote one guy like, you know what? It's so easy. You're right. You should go pro. You should just take on all of these guys and girls. Beat them to death. You're so good.
Totally. It's so funny. But yeah, I love it. Bring it on. Bring on all of the disputes. What do you call it in sales?
Oh, objections.
Objections.
I'd love to handle those objections.
Bring on the objections, and I will diffuse them one by one. So yeah, super fun experience. I did get home safe from that flat tire. So thank you so much to Craig, I believe his name was. Shout out to Craig.
And USAA.
Appreciate you, and I hope your wife had fun watching Oh Snap. PPA Denver. I saw some comments actually on the feed that was like, oh my God, Oh Snap's the worst title ever for
it's great.
For a sporting event. I was like, what? I love it.
It's so easy to remember.
Yeah, it makes me want to say it every single time. But whatevs. No publicity is bad publicity, right? So yeah, that was Denver, and here we are. And next week we will talk about the rest of our awesome week in Aspen.
Yep.
Can't wait to experience some more of my hometown. What else are we going to talk about next week? Or did you have any other final thoughts? Oh, we did have a JILLYB
question.
Dear JILLYB.
So this is the most important Dear JILLYB question that we've had yet on the podcast. What is my exact sunblock regimen?
If you guys don't know, Jill is the most diligent and intelligent and proactive person I have ever met when it comes to sun protection, whether that is big brims or, as we like to call her, GFK, with all of that sunscreen on her face, being pretty white. We call her the Ghost Face Killer.
Yeah, my favorite's when our friends Mickey and Lindsay, shout out to our girls Mickey and Lindsay in NYC, come and watch me play and yell, let's go Ghost Face Killer GFK. So I use two products. One is called Sun Zapper by Zinc Stick, not sponsored by either of these products. But here's the key. You have to mix it because it's chalky and tacky with something creamy. And I don't care what you mix it with. You can mix it with makeup concealer. You can mix it with a tinted moisturizer. I use My Shell tinted moisturizer, SPF 50. They stopped making it now. They only make it in 30. It doesn't really matter because the zinc stick is so strong. So I form a paste in my hand and then I apply it. And the only downside is that Sun Zapper zinc stick is so thick. Just when you get home, you've got to like take a washcloth. Yeah, you got to take a washcloth, soap, and just really like scrub it off of your skin because it's not coming off. I have tried every combination, white zinc,
Coats.
Failing Coats is a great, Failing Coats is a great brand. But for me, this combination of the Sun Zapper zinc stick plus something creamy is literally impenetrable. Yeah. I put on and then the best part of the Sun Zapper zinc stick is the back of your hands. You just take, you don't have to get your hands dirty for this. You literally just go like this. You color your left hand, then you take your left hand, flip it over, put it on the top of your right hand, blend your hands together. And because it's so chalky, it won't get on your grip and it's not greasy. So you can play without feeling like, oh my God, my hands are greasy now. I cannot stand that feeling of greasy hands when I play.
Grips are not as brown as they used to be from the tinted sunscreen. So
and I think one of our favorite listeners, Scott. Hi, Scott.
Hey,
reached
Scott.
out with some questions.
I don't know.
And there was one that really struck me. Scott asked, what does a Sunday morning in our household look like? Do you not remember this?
Days of the week, they're all the same. What's a Sunday? The only thing that
a
separates
golf
Sunday
pro
is that Monday we're doing the pod. But yes, most mornings start with me making lattes. One of my great joys in life, since I make no food. Jill makes all the food. The one thing I do is the lattes in the morning in our Breville machine, followed by Roar, our favorite electrolyte drink that now supports the PPA, which is awesome. Followed by a little bit of a planning session over what we're going to do with the kind of videos that we're filming or editing or posting, and a lot of times right to training pickleball one way or another.
We're usually up between 6 and 7, depending on if Toby the tabby, who meows.
He doesn't meow. He screeches.
Like, what do you call that? Screech?
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends, like, what time he has woken us up in the morning, like 1 a.m. or 5 a.m. with nothing in between.
I don't know if he's ever growing out of it.
Usually Kristin will realize she has a lesson to go teach like 7 minutes before the lesson, and it sounds like this, oh shit! And then I know like if I hear that from the opposite side of the house, like I know exactly what is happening. She forgot a lesson.
It's cute for Jill to be like, let me make you avocado toast and a smoothie. Don't worry, it'll only take 6 minutes. I should have left 6 minutes ago.
And then there will be like a full discussion that takes 3 minutes on like, wait, should you take the car? Because we have one car.
Yeah. I'll take the cart.
We have a golf cart. So who's taking like what vehicle where?
Yeah.
So that takes us to about like 11 a.m. Yeah, there's a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Come to the desert. It's glorious.
It is pretty glorious. And it's 1:15 there right now, so I'll stick to Aspen. Thank you, Kyron, for taking care of the cats.
Thank you, Kyron. Couldn't do it without you. Literally.
One last thing before we sign off. We talked about some goods, the Bemer going as supplies last. The GRUVN move-in paddle, which just launched and started shipping last Saturday, is also going really, really fast. So if you have not tried this paddle yet, discount code JILLYB. It's thermoformed, you guys. Like, where else can you get $159 with my discount? Thermoform paddle with the most grit possible on a paddle. Like, you tell me where you can find that. Yeah. I'd love to know.
Totally. And they have every shape under the sun in their raw series too.
Yep.
So we just got a full catalog of, they have kind of round ones, they have wide body, they have elongated handle, elongated face. So every shape you could ever desire, plus a lot of cool, unique edge guards that are very colorful. Super excited to see that hot pink out on the court.
So we're going to see you guys next week. We will release a pod next week. And of course, write us with any questions, thispblife@gmail.com. And remember, we have a new sign off.
Pickleball
is joy. Don't let anyone try and tell you otherwise.
This Pickleball Life is a Tomahawk production, 100% organic, self-made, and homegrown. Music by K-Dubs, editing by K-Dubs and Jilly B. Check out pbgods.com and use code PBLifers for 10% off your next order. Do you have a question for Jilly B? Email us at thispblife@gmail.com to be included in future episodes. Don't forget to click subscribe.
This Pickleball Life.